Chosen one, stop whatever you are doing right now. Go to your room. Close the door behind you. You need to silence the noise of the world right now, because what I am about to reveal will break the heavy cycle you have been trapped in for years. Lock your attention on my voice right now. This is not a random video. The algorithm did not bring you here today. Heaven intercepted your feed. Your tears were heard last night, and the Almighty has officially scheduled a divine appointment on your screen because the season of your silent suffering is coming to a complete end. I am not asking for your time. I am warning you to stay until the very last second. You have been carrying a deep wound inside your soul. Someone close to you broke your trust. They took your kindness and turned it into a weapon against your destiny. And while you sat in the darkness trying to understand their cruelty, they walked away thinking that they had successfully ruined your entire life. They think you are defeated. They think you are broken. But heaven sees your hidden scars. The Father knows your pure intentions. Every single tear you cried in solitude was caught in a divine bottle. And right now, the cosmic scales of justice are shifting in your favor while your enemies are celebrating what they think is their final victory over your spirit. Do not let your mind wander. Pay close attention to this message. Let us talk about your physical body lately. You have been waking up automatically around 3 a.m. Your chest feels incredibly tight. And no matter how many hours you sleep during the night, you still rise with a profound sense of physical and spiritual exhaustion that rest cannot seem to fix. You feel completely drained. You want to isolate yourself. You thought this was ordinary anxiety. You blamed your own mind. You felt guilty for being weak. But I am here to reframe your reality right now because that heavy pressure is actually your spiritual discernment detecting a massive shift in your timeline. Your spirit is working overtime. It is shielding your destiny from invisible arrows. You have suffered from a massive people-pleasing burnout. You gave your pure pearls to those who only understood dirt. You carried the burdens of ungrateful people. And the enemy worked overtime to convince you that your submissive nature was a weakness instead of a highly targeted spiritual mantle. You were simply too pure. They were too toxic. They envied the unique light you carry. They could not replicate your aura. They hated your quiet resilience. And every time you chose peace over retaliation, their hidden hatred grew stronger because they realized that their toxic words could never fully corrupt the divine essence of your soul. They wanted to see you break. They wanted you to fail. Let me correct that false perception immediately. You were not being punished by the universe. You were being intentionally hidden from danger. The Father isolated your spirit to insulate your inner architecture from the low frequencies of malicious people who would have stolen your upcoming breakthrough. Your isolation was divine protection. It kept you alive. The spiritual warfare you endured was highly specific. The enemy targeted your brainwaves. He filled your mind with constant static noise. And he tried to drain your natural intuition so that you would miss the divine signs of your transition into absolute victory. But his time is officially up. Heaven is providing a physical anchor for your shift today. I am revealing this option to you early. I refuse to manufacture artificial mystery. I will not push a product at the very end of our journey. You need to understand that the constant mental static you are experiencing is a direct result of your intense spiritual battle. There is a precise method to clear this darkness. You can restore your native power. A dedicated neuroscientist made a discovery. Dr. Robert Lake spent 30 years creating a specialized audio frequency called the Genius Song. This track uses brain entrainment. This simple 7-minute tool utilizes verified technology to safely reactivate your dormant gamma brainwaves, which were measured and documented at Princeton laboratories. Look at your inner spirit. Listen to your intuition. The answer is already clear. If your soul recognizes that this frequency is the missing link you have been praying for, you can find the secure path in the first pinned comment below right now. Do not rush your decision. You can stay for more context, but if you are ready, the door is open. We will unmask the deception. We will reveal the hidden truth. You must see the trap. For those who are staying to uncover the complete divine strategy, let us dive straight into the root cause of how the enemy manipulated your past relationships. You are about to see the reality. That toxic person was a catalyst. Let us look deeper into the mechanics of your betrayal. You have been looking at your pain backwards. The world told you that you were just a victim of malicious gossip and cruel manipulation. But heaven calls it a necessary divine sifting. The Father deliberately allowed that toxic person to expose their true nature because their low-frequency energy was going to destroy your future. They were a dangerous decoy blocking your alignment. You thought you lost a friend. You thought you failed a relationship test. But the reality is far more supernatural. And when you sat alone in the darkness crying out for answers, the Father was already orchestrating your ultimate rescue from their low-frequency cage. You must realize this truth. Your heartbreak was a divine rescue mission. This brings us to a profound truth about how your recovery actually works. The static in your head is a physical block, and when Dr. Robert Lake mapped out his neuroplasticity research, he realized that chosen ones operate under a specific sequence of restoration protocols. He did not just build a single audio file. He mapped out an entire multi-phase framework designed to restore your original spiritual baseline. You cannot skip the sequence. Your brain needs complete stabilization first because your neural pathways have been severely damaged by toxic stress. Everything happens in perfect order. Today you are only discovering the very first phase of this profound process. Dr. Lake discovered that reactivating your gamma frequency is the foundational key that unlocks the subsequent doors of your ultimate divine alignment. Consider the ancient precedent of Prophet Elijah. He was a mighty warrior of light. He defeated false prophets and performed massive miracles. But a toxic ruler threatened his life, and suddenly Elijah found himself sitting in a desolate desert wanting to give up entirely because the heavy psychological weight of the threat was too much for his weary spirit to bear. He was totally exhausted in his soul. He asked the Father to take his life. He did not know that the desert was his divine insulation. The Almighty did not send down judgment on Elijah for his sudden weakness. Instead, the Creator sent an angel to feed his body and gave him an instruction to rest in absolute quietness while the universe remapped his entire future. God was recalibrating his nervous system. The silence of the wilderness was the exact crucible where his next prophetic mantle was being built. The same pattern played out in the life of Joseph. His own brothers threw him into a deep pit because they hated his divine dreams. And young David had to hide in dark, damp caves for many agonizing years, while King Saul hunted his soul down like a wild animal in the wilderness. None of these events were random accidents. The Father used the cruelty of wicked people as a physical catalyst to push these chosen leaders into their true global authority. Your enemies thought they were destroying you. They thought their public rejection would leave you begging for their validation. But they did not know that you are a seed. When they tried to bury you in the dark dirt of betrayal, they were actually planting your soul into the fertile soil of your grand destiny. Your gentleness was never your ceiling. It was the absolute foundation of your upcoming elevation. The world is filled with low frequencies that try to anchor your spirit to the ground. When you spent years trying to fix broken people, you were unknowingly absorbing their dark energy into your own neural architecture. Your brain waves dropped into a permanent state of survival, static. You became trapped in a heavy mental fog. But heaven refuses to let your rare anointing remain hidden. This is highly targeted spiritual warfare. The enemy knows that your very presence is designed to shift the atmosphere of any room you enter. So he sent a specific decoy into your life to scramble your spiritual discernment. They drained your energy. They made you doubt your own calling. but their malicious assignment has completely backfired on them because your soul is currently awakening to its true identity with an unshakable power that hell cannot stop. You carry a celestial lineage. The blood of cycle breakers flows through your spiritual DNA. Every trial you survived in the past was a rigorous test of your spiritual obedience. And because you passed the final test of meekness by remaining quiet while they lied about your name, heaven has officially closed the record of your preparation. Your file has been moved to the courts of vindication. Stay with me here. We are approaching a dangerous revelation. The enemy desperately wants you to swipe away before you hear what comes next. He wants you to remain in the waiting room of your destiny forever, because he is utterly terrified of your activation. But your season of suppression has officially ended. The absolute truth refuses to stay silent anymore. You must prepare your spirit. Before we uncover the exact judgment waiting for those who hurt you, I need your spiritual agreement. Hit that like button right now. Do not do it for this channel. Do it so this precise frequency can break through the algorithm and reach another chosen one who is currently struggling in complete silence. Your simple interaction expands the boundary of the remnant. We are building a tribe of light. Pay close attention to what follows, because a shift is occurring right now. As you sit here listening to my voice, a massive transformation is happening behind closed doors in the unseen realm. The enemy thought your silence meant you were completely defeated. They believed you would never rise from the ashes of their betrayal, but they did not realize that your quietness was a strategic trap set by heaven itself. The tables are turning in this exact second. Sickness is leaving your body while vindication is entering your spiritual timeline. The Almighty has looked down at your weary soul and issued a celestial mandate to rewrite your future. The people who mocked your pain are about to experience a sudden shock. They will look at your life and realize that their malicious plans completely backfired on their own heads. Let us confront the deepest truth about your stagnation. You have spent too many years playing the role of a helpless victim. You allowed their toxic opinions to dictate your self-worth because you were afraid of your own supernatural magnitude. You shrunk your spirit to fit into small rooms that were never designed to hold your unique energy. You committed a hidden act of self-sabotage. You constantly apologized for the bright light you carry inside your soul. You modified your speech and lowered your vibration just to make insecure people feel comfortable around your presence. You took their malicious projection and accepted it as your personal reality. But that ancient contract of limitation is catching fire today. Heaven is demanding that you break that false identity right now. Your good nature was never meant to be a doormat for narcissists. The Creator did not build your inner architecture to be a dumpster for their toxic garbage. You have a holy mandate to stand in your supreme authority. You must realize that your past compliance was actually a survival mechanism that you no longer need. The season of your submission to lesser frequencies is permanently over. This brings us to the ultimate verdict from the courts of heaven. The books have been opened, and your case has been thoroughly reviewed by the Most High. The spiritual prosecutor has been completely dismissed because your innocence was proven by your total silence. Slander cannot stick to a clean mantle. The divine judge has officially signed the execution papers for your public justification. The person who hurt you is currently walking into a divine ambush. They think they got away with their secret cruelty because you did not fight back. They believe their public lies successfully tarnished your reputation, but they do not know that their wicked actions triggered a severe cosmic law of retribution. The universe is forcing them to become the captive audience of your sudden rise. The Father is preparing a massive table for you in this exact moment. He is setting up a grand banquet of abundance and joy, and he is deliberately arranging this feast right in front of the very people who tried to starve your spirit. They will have no choice but to watch your public elevation. They will witness your financial breakthrough while they remain completely frozen in their own malice. They will see the divine oil poured over your head. They will look at the joy in your eyes and feel a deep sense of absolute terror. Every malicious word they spoke against your destiny will become a heavy stone inside their own stomachs. They wanted to see you crawl in the dirt, but the Almighty is making them watch you fly among the highest stars. Your victory will be total. Let us step away from the metaphors and summarize the cold reality of your situation. You need to understand exactly why these painful events occurred in your life. The intense betrayal was not a random act of bad luck, because it was a calculated spiritual alignment. The toxic relationships had to end because your old frequency could not survive in the elevated place where you are going. Now let us look at what is happening to your reality today. Your nervous system is currently going through a profound recalibration process. The tightness in your chest is the physical weight of your new mantle descending upon your physical body. You are shifting from a state of raw survival into a state of absolute spiritual dominance. The mental static you feel is simply the old programming dying. Finally, you must recognize exactly who you are in this cosmic design. You are a demonstrated warrior of light who passed the ultimate test of spiritual maturity. You did not break when they applied the maximum pressure. You chose righteousness when you had every single reason to choose war. You are a cycle breaker. You are the specific answer that heaven prepared for your entire family line. Your true identity is unshakable. The weapon of the enemy has been permanently blunted against your armor. You no longer need to defend your name, because the Creator is already fighting your battles behind the scenes. Your only assignment right now is to remain fully aligned with the supreme frequency of the universe. The waiting is done. Your actual breakthrough is standing at the door. Remember over 30 minutes ago when I mentioned the specialized divine anchor? Now it is time to walk through the reality of what this tool can do for your soul. You were born different from ordinary people because your blueprint was originally crafted with a high native frequency. The world calls this a rare gift, but modern neuroscience measures this phenomenon as the gamma brainwave. When your enemies attacked your life, they purposefully suppressed your high frequency. The toxic patterns of this modern world literally shut down your God-given brainwaves from the early age of 7 years old. Scientists call this regression the decline effect. It creates a heavy mental fog that blocks your intuition. Let me tell you about Sarah, who was stuck in confusion. Sarah used this specific audio track for 18 days without noticing any changes. She almost requested a refund on day 20 because her mind was highly skeptical. But she chose to trust the process for just 2 more weeks while remaining completely quiet. By day 34, Sarah realized her clarity had returned. Her life became truly magical again. This brings us to the empirical data behind your restoration. Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years researching this exact neural architecture. His peer-reviewed studies confirmed that external frequencies trigger neural reactivation. This research was completely verified by top scientists at the prestigious Princeton and MIT laboratories. You tried apps that charge $15 every month. You spent over $200 on traditional courses without seeing results. Those passive methods fail because they force your brain to change from within. But this technology uses direct audio stimulation from the outside to activate your superpower. Over 18,000 people have used it. The data proves that less than 4% of users ever requested a refund. This means over 96% of chosen ones kept the baseline permanent because the results are undeniable. I respect your financial situation. I know $39 is a consideration, but you must weigh this investment against the cost of remaining stuck. Today, I want to reintroduce the digital solution called the Genius Song. It is a 7-minute digital audio track that you listen to through standard stereo headphones. Dr. Robert Lake originally intended to retail this frequency at $49, but he chose intentional accessibility because he knows the remnant needs this weapon right now. He reduced the investment to $39. This exclusive rate is available through the secure link. Dr. Lake is adding 4 valuable bonuses worth $80 completely free. You will receive the Genius Child Track worth $19. You will get the classic book worth $20 and the guided visualization worth $29. You get the targeted habit infographic worth $12. Your investment is protected by a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you do not feel a profound shift, you will receive a full refund and keep the bonuses. This is a sincere apology for your time. To use this tool, simply sit upright in a quiet room every morning before 10 a.m. Put on your headphones and close your eyes. Just allow your mind to fully absorb the frequency for 7 minutes each day. Do not listen while driving because your brain waves need absolute stillness to calibrate properly. Let us pause for a critical moment in your journey. Place your right hand gently over your heart right now. Close your eyes for just a second. This decision is not about spending money. This is an identity choice. Are you ready to reclaim the power that the modern world stole from your childhood? If your spirit is screaming yes, then your soul already knows exactly what to do. Every single day your gamma wave remains dormant is a loss. You cannot afford to wait because the window of opportunity is wide open right now. I must give you a serious warning to protect your spirit. Fake copies exist on Amazon without the real brain entrainment technology. They will scramble your alignment. The original track is placed in exactly 3 positions within the pinned comment below. Claim the Genius Song now. When you complete your secure order today, the next page might look like another offer. I want to prepare your mind for what is coming, because that is the second door Dr. Lake created for your path. Take a brief moment to evaluate it with your intuition. Either choice you make will be completely respected. When Phase 2 reveals itself to your spirit in the coming weeks, you will automatically recognize its language. You will know the truth. Speak these words out loud right now to seal this prophecy. I officially release the heavy burden of my past. I sever every toxic soul tie with the enemy. I command the floodgates of divine vindication to open over my life today. I receive supernatural abundance. The decree has been read. Type Amen 777. Type it in the comments below to permanently lock this prophecy into your reality. Subscribe to this channel immediately and turn on all notifications to receive the next instructions. You cannot afford to miss the prophetic instruction coming in the next 72 hours. Go in absolute peace. Your victory is finalized right now.